Hi guys, so it's 4:33 in the morning. Probably can't see that. And it's a Monday. Do you like my setup? I managed to lift my mattress up against my headboard and it bends right here. Hopefully it won't damage it for too long. But right now it's still the third day. And it's 4:35 in the AM. Not too long left until the third day is over and I begin my fourth day with my dry fast. I'm not planning to go a set amount of days, like I like to say, like to reiterate, but I do like to take it, or to better put it, I like to experience the experience, and that in and of itself is satisfying me. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it's like writing a book or playing a video game. You complete one level, right? But you're actually entertained by the process of completing the level, or writing the book, or even reading the book. You don't plan to play it the next day. You just do it because you're excited to experience that experience of completion. That's what I'm going through right now. Now, how long do you guys play games for? Those of you who play video games still. How long have you been engulfed within a story, a narrative, a novel of a book? Or those of you who've written a book, how many of you can write the book continuously, day by day? Who knows how long this is going to go for? I've actually got my computer right here and I can see its reflection in my mirror. Probably show you guys that maybe on day 4, or if I choose to get up, I can show you. But really what I've discovered today, and that's actually helping me, and that's helping you, as if I've told you already. No, what I've discovered already is helping me. Grammar. It's helping me in staying preoccupied, because I've realized something about my 2 lives. I didn't even realize I was living, or I had wandered off the beaten path, right? Of my natural behavior, of just doing what feels good. Play. We're supposed to occupy our time with things which make us feel a sense of not just satisfaction, but I guess expression. We're supposed to channel our own, how can I say this? See this violin? Right? This is how I discovered it, or this is how I came to be when it comes to me moving into this state that I'm going to tell you about. Having a hard time, but bear with me. We're supposed to channel our emotions and our thought process adequately, using any form of expression that we can either still do, because we've done it already, or that we can move into something completely new. Singing, acting, anything. And I did lose that, or at least I lost sight of that for a while, because I was too preoccupied with what I'd already played with. And after a while, it really did, it started to stress me out, because it wasn't natural anymore. The energy wasn't flowing out, it was just me clinging onto something which was no longer here. You know? I mean, the excitement, or that feel for that completion was there. That gave me some sort of satisfactory result, but it wasn't the results that I would normally get if I had just gone from in to out, rather than going from in to out at the beginning, and then just staying from out, and then sparking anything that is within, sparking that satisfactory moment. That's more like a dopamine rush. That's why it's so addictive, that satisfactory or those satisfactory moments. It's addictive. It's like, completion, done. But when you go from in, how you feel, to expression, that's another story. You feel as if it's time well spent. Therefore, you're not pondering or thinking about the minutes and the seconds, microseconds, hours, or days that are going by. So time goes quicker when you're able to channel more information from the inside out. Right now I'm expressing an epiphany. That's some form of information from the inside out. And it feels good, and I'm noticing that it feels better than the feeling of satisfaction. Maybe I just thought that feeling satisfied was what made me feel good, and really it was just the movement of energy from in to out, which was only a small aspect of the greater whole. So maybe I need to move more energy out in order to feel more, I don't want to say alive, but more involved within the present, within the now. It's funny, when you're in the now, you don't notice you're in the now. How do I stay more in the now? Let's focus on the now. When you're focusing on staying in the now, you have the tendency to think about or to believe that you're not in the now already. So that causes your mind to wander into the future, or to worry that you've always not been in the present. So you're, by definition, or you'll be in the past. Yeah, if you get that, let me know. I think I've just gone a bit too complicated. Let's just keep it simple. Also, this is really important, guys. I'm going to show you how important it is. I'm going to focus. There we go. Let's get real, please focus, camera. Maybe I focused too close on my face. Let's go a bit further out. Lighting helps. That's great. Now I've got to try and remember what I just wanted to tell you, because it was a biggie. I could actually speak very long for this video. I did some cool dreams where I was abducted from this dimension, and the beings that abducted me from this dimension destroyed my family, or half of them anyway, because when I asked them why they did it, they said to me, they're human. They're not real. They think they're real, but that death scenario, that program, isn't actually real. So to them, the beings, they didn't mind. And they sat me down at this desk in front of all these other desks. But before I sat down at the desks, they took me through this walkway, and there was this window that I could look through, and there were little incubators with the name tags of an identity, but inside the incubators there were symbols of the beings, okay, like little statues which represented their true potential, their actual character. And it was on the opposite side of the glass because that's where they had already gotten to. They were completed states of being. And I'm walking through and I'm seeing one serpent with one staff and a pine cone, right? And then I see one with the 3 prongs, the forks. And then I see one with the Superman S, okay? And with the Superman S, there were 2 wings either side of the S, you know? And the staff was running from the tip of the S, because, you know, the S is like this with the Superman, right? It's like that. And then the S in this bit. At the tip here, the staff went down and it spiraled down with a pine cone that was upside down. And it was gold. And that was like the main one, the main state of consciousness to get to. Now, I decoded the dream. I'm going to tell you what happened when I sat down at the desk in a moment, but I decoded the dream whilst I was having it, okay? It was a dream scenario. It was an astral projection. It may have been influenced by external parties, but from what I could gather, it felt as if some intelligence was divinely influencing the dream. So here's what it suggested: 3 prongs, Aquaman, dominance over the seas, water element, dealing with thoughts and telepathy. That's the abilities gathered by that, right? It used my subconscious mind, which is what I already knew, the information I gathered from this dimension, to depict that spiritual significance. You know, my time reading the comics, that's what it used. So it also used Superman, obviously. Where else would they have the information for Superman when it comes to the symbols? They took it from my information that I've gathered from here. I'm going to be quick because I'm not sure how long this camera's going to last. I see it flashing. And the incubator significance was what it meant, or what it depicted was the birth of something new. The label was the name given in this dimension, or this dream-like story, this experience. And the potential was the statue inside of the incubator, signifying completion. It was like a Ragnarok type scenario, serpent biting its tail. So that's why that adult signature of the coming of age, of the ascension hitting its peak, was inside of the incubator, dealing with the birth of something new. So it was a full circle. And it was behind the glass because it signified the greats, the masters, who had already gotten there. And it felt like I was already there, but at the same time, I wasn't, as if I had somehow reincarnated to get to where I already was, or where I used to be within the past. And the reason why I come to that conclusion is because they used the S, Superman symbol. And for a very large majority of my life, I was called Superman and Clark Kent. Very large, maybe 15 years of my life throughout school and college, because of what I could do in the gymnasium. I'd smash all the records. I was really good, very physical person, made up for my mind, because at the time I was so distracted by everyone's nonsense, plus everything else that happened within my past, that it made it difficult for me to learn. After figuring that stuff out, now I'm like pretty clever. But yeah, I just got rid of all my blockages that stopped me from learning, and now I'm like super brainy. So that helped. And again, it deals with awareness, Kundalini rising, making you really smart. IQ increases. So yeah, so we sit down, and this guy comes behind me, and he looks at my test results. Or basically, he looked at the information that suggested that I should be there, comprised by the masters that were watching me, the watchers, right? And he notices there's a mistake in the results. I'm at 13 minus, whereas I should be 30 plus. Okay, so he corrected it, and then he moved me to a different position. And I'm looking at the other people beside me, and the person in front of me, and the woman next to him, and the woman's like really into him because he's got this high status, this high result. And he's on a lower score than me. No one else around me is on the score or on the level that I'm actually currently starting at. So again, that significance is me. I've been around before. I've been able to do things before, and that showed within this scenario. And then I woke up here in the astral realm, and something moved. Something moved from the end of my room straight through the wall. Gone. Okay, so whatever was orchestrating this state of consciousness, creating this walk-in, was big. It was in my room. I could feel its presence. I could kind of see its shape. This thing was like 5.5 feet wide, okay, and about 6 foot tall. Sidestep straight through the wall, gone. And then I was instantly warped out back into 3D. So, for those of you watching my video for the first time, this is on dry fasting, of course, but I also astral project, I teach it. I'm an expert in dream interpretation, memory mastery, and other things dealing with consciousness, okay? So subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like that, or just go check it out. You probably see loads at the side now that you've watched this video, but don't get confused, okay? That's just some reassurance. If you've watched my dry fasting videos and now all of a sudden you're seeing this other content, this is who I am, so yeah. One last thing before I close down, or before this video dies. Let's talk about the other main significance I keep saying significance. Let's talk about, let's use another word. I'm getting bored of that word. Let's switch it out. Let's talk about another main epiphany or knowing or conscious expanding. Let's talk about another epiphany that came to mind today, something which otherwise wouldn't have been able to come through if I was otherwise distracted by these subtle devices that take away my time. Mainly, what I thought I should be doing or what I kept doing before I picked up my violin. Let me just think about it. Stresslessness. That was it. I'd created a lifestyle for myself, and without knowing, I was becoming incredibly agitated, always moving my leg, always shaking my foot, annoying my ex-girlfriends within my past. I was incredibly agitated, didn't know why. Throughout this dry fast, I've discovered that my agitation is due to me fearing the worst, because I'm self-employed, and other things within my life, fearing the worst of a situation, and feeling the urge to act so that that fear doesn't come to pass. The majority of me didn't feel fearful, otherwise I would have attracted a fear-based reality and never had results. I've had a lot of results, a lot. Easy results. I've manifested so many things, but there was a very small percentage of me that was acting in fear. So I turned that off, right? And now I'm having to rethink everything. Everything's changed. I'm not having to act because I'm afraid anymore. And now I'm not agitated anymore. I've stopped shaking. It took a while. I had to keep, because it's a built-in habit. So every time I did it, I thought, okay, wait, what am I agitated about? What do I fear about happening? And I was so surprised because every time I felt myself move, I felt my thoughts, observed them, and I was thinking about what if this doesn't happen? I need to do this now. Every time I felt my leg move or saw my foot move, twitch, I thought, wow, literally. In that fashion, move, wait, I feel the need to do this, because right now I'm afraid that if I don't do that, this will happen, every time. And then I realized, you know what, it didn't start off like that, it started off with me just playing. So, I'm just going to keep playing. And I don't care what happens. I know what's most likely going to happen, because I've been in that headspace before, where I just play and then stuff just happens. But yeah, we'll see. My life's pretty stressless right now. I'm just adapting to this stresslessness. And in the meantime, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm Ryan James Cropper. I'm known as Ryan James Cropper. Funny story about that, but I won't tell you about it in this video. It's a long one. This has been Your Potential. Thanks for embarking on this journey with me, in a way. I hope this information helps you just as much as it's helping me. This is so cool. You guys don't have to water fast or dry fast or do any kind of thing to raise your awareness the hard way, because you've got videos like this. Every time I'm speaking to you, it's like I'm causing your subconscious mind, your higher self, to remember, and then you get the download. So it's actually like instant gratification. But I don't mind. Still, if you're thinking about dry fasting, take it very slow. I've been fasting for about 3 or 4 years, give or take. Okay, I started juice feasting, juice fasting, water fasting. I was raw for a very long time. That percentage. Camera died. Yeah, so I was raw for a very, very long time. I actually transitioned into the raw food diet. I didn't just say, hey, I'm not eating cooked food anymore. No. I continued to allow myself to eat the cooked food, but I just introduced raw foods, which made it better. My body adapted. I naturally began to enjoy cold food better. more than cooked food. I then started to make recipes which taste better than the cooked food, so naturally I just preferred raw food. And then it got to the point where I just didn't want to eat any more cooked food because it made me feel bad. So, oh yeah, here's what I'm doing, by the way. See, there's my computer. I'm watching Boruto. Or Boruto. So yeah. And then after being raw and juicing, I was also juicing whilst I was raw. I went into water fasts and then just having water a few days, intermittent fasting. I also then went into urine fasting. Okay, something about that. No one knows, well, not many people know about that, urine fasting. That's actually dealing with the elixir of immortality of life, dealing with a free water supply, dealing with distilled water. It kills any sort of bacteria. It's really powerful stuff, guys. Hydration through the roof. The water of life, waters of life, they call it. Or in other words, if you really understand this methodology of cleansing, it's alchemy, the philosopher's stone. That's what it's called. That's what it is. If you understand the philosopher's stone, and I don't mean what people try to get you to understand, the diversions within the texts, which is very clever. And if you can see through that crap, you'll see the real truth within the scriptures. You'll decode it, you realize it actually has everything to do with your body and turning it into gold. Dealing with urine fasting. It's incredible, but after I did that, I then transitioned into dry fasting. Dry fasted for how do you call it? Intermissively. So basically didn't drink or eat anything for a long period of time throughout the day, and then I drank and ate something. I also minimized my intake of food for a while, 500 calories, 2 days a week, but that actually ended up going longer than 2 days a week. And then I moved into a dry fast. And that's where I'm at today, guys, just naturally dry fasting and intuitive. Oh wow, I can't tell you too much because now I'm getting too much. I'm going into like the philosopher's stone and immortality, and I was about to go into cellular memory, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll leave it till the next one. I'm Ryan JC. This has been Your Potential, and I'll speak to you guys pretty soon. Peace. Insane bedhead. Once again, it is.